Hello everyone, you are welcome to today's session. We have this question on the board to solve, which is under polynomial function. For this month, what we have been doing is to treat polynomial functions, and so we've looked at a lot of subtopic under that. At the moment, what we are trying to do is to apply the various subtopics that we've learned to solve questions, and that is what we are doing. So kindly follow us. We look at this question. The question says that if x plus 1 and x minus 2 are factors of this function, find the values of a, b, and hence the third term. All right, so now let's look at it. The function, you have f of x equal to x cubed plus ax squared minus 5x plus b. Now, how do we go about it from here? This is one of the factors. This is also another factor. Now, when you have a factor, all right, and you equate it to 0, you have x equal to -1. When you put the function, the value, or whatever that you equated to 0, whatever value that you had for the x, when you put it into the function, it should give you what? 0. Meaning that when you equate a factor to 0 and you put into the function, it should give you what? 0. If you want to understand, you should look at the factor theorem, okay? So here, meaning that f of 1 will give you 0. Notwithstanding this a, this b, we don't know the value, and that's why we have been asked to find it. So when you put in the -1, instead of it to have given you 0 straight away, it will not give you 0, okay? So what you are going to do is that you are going to have an equation. Then you put this one too also into the function again. Then you have an equation. So you are going to have two equations. Then you use simultaneous equation to solve it to get the value for a and b. All right. So let's kindly look at it. We've already solved. You have -1 cube plus a -1 square. Yes, -1 plus b should be equal to 0. You've already established that. Now here you have -1 times -1 times -1. This will give you positive times this, and that will give you -1. Okay, so you have, that is -1. Then this one, -1 times -1 will give you positive times a. You have positive a. Negative will give you positive. So you have plus 5. All right, then you have plus b equal to 0. I hope you are following. So now let's look at something over here. You have a plus the b here. Okay, plus 5 minus 1 equal to 0. A plus b plus 4 equal to 0. You have a plus b equal to, this one will move to the side, giving you 4. So you have equation 1. I hope you are following. Now with this understanding, you have this one. Then you go by the same approach with this. So you have x minus 2 equal to 0. And x will give you what? That is 2. So you are going to substitute it into this one. So that means that f of 2 should also give you 0. All right. So you have 2 here, cube, plus a, 2 squared minus 5, 2 here, plus b, equal to 0. Now this one will give you 8. This one will give you 4a. Because 2 squared is 2 times 2, giving you 4 times the a, 4a. Here is 2 times 2 times 2, 2 to 4 times 2, that is 8, okay? And this side will give you -10 plus b equal to 0. So you want to rewrite it as 4a plus b plus 8 minus 10 equal to 0. Then this side will give you 4a plus b minus 2 equal to 0. So at the end of the day, you have 4a plus b equal to, because when this one crosses the equal to sign, you have +2. So this is equation 2. I hope you are following. Now, you have these two equations. Let me use a different marker so that you'll be able to follow it. You have a plus b equal to like 4, equation 1. And you have 4a plus b equal to 2, equation 2. Now, what we've done so far, we're able to do it with our understanding that we have received from polynomial. With where you've gotten to, it is your understanding on simultaneous equation that will be able to help you. So if you don't understand simultaneous equation, I will encourage you to go and actually study it. I've done an extensive tuition on that, so you can go through our pages and actually look for it. Now, under the simultaneous equation, we have the graphical method, we have the elimination method, we have the substitution method. But for the purpose of our studies, we are going to look at the elimination method. The word elimination means that you are taking away or you are removing it. All right. So the rationale behind the whole elimination process is that you have two variables. Sometimes, depending on the equation, you end up having 3 or 4, and so on. You want to eliminate or take away, in this case, there are 2 variables. So you want to take away one of them, so that it will be left with one variable, and your whole focus will be on that variable. You are solving it, all right, to get the value of that variable left. Having found the value of that variable left, then you use it to come and find the value of the variable that you eliminated. Now, how do you go about with the elimination method? To start with, you have to decide the variable that you want to eliminate. So you have A and B. You are the one supposed to decide whether you are taking away A or taking away B. Somebody may decide to take away A, somebody may decide to take away B. So you are the one supposed to decide. Having decided, you have to also make sure that they have the same coefficient. So what do I mean by that? If this side is 4, this side has to also be 4 for the A. Okay, let's say that if this side was 3 and this side was 2, what you have to do is that you have to make sure that they have the same coefficient. All right. Now, when you look at the B, here the coefficient is 1, the coefficient is 1. So the coefficient must be the same. Then the next step is that one has to be positive, one has to be negative, so that they cancel out. And that is what the elimination method is all about. So I will want to eliminate B. Okay. But look at it, B here is positive, here is also positive. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to multiply -1 by equation 1. So you write multiply -1 by equation 1. So in this case, you have A plus B equal to 4. And that will give me A, B equal to 4. So you have equation 3. So I'll now be working with equation 2, equation 3. I'll be adding them. Somebody may also say that you can subtract, that is equation 1 from equation 2. Either way is that you decide to go about with it. So here, 4a plus this negative a will give you 3a. Then b plus the negative b will give you what? 0. Then these 2 plus this will give you 6. So you have 3a equal to 6. You divide both sides by the coefficient of a. All right, here is 1, here is 2. Therefore, the value of a is what? 2. Having gotten the value of a to be equal to 2, the next thing is to use it to find the value for b. So you write putting a to 2 into, you are the one supposed to decide the equation that you want to put in. Is it equation 1? Is it equation 2? Is it equation 3? So let's say equation 1. All right, my equation 1 is a plus b equal to 4. But a is what? 2 plus b equal to 4. So what you are going to do is that you move this one to this side, giving you b equal to 4 minus 2, because it was positive. When it crosses, it becomes negative. And you have b to be equal to 6. So this will now become the value of b. So this is the value of a, this is the value for what? B. You are not done. Now, let's look at it here. The function that we didn't know a lot of information about it. Now here is x cubed. we now have the value for a, which is 2, so it becomes 2x squared minus 5x plus b, which is what? Next 6. Okay, now the question is saying that we should find the third factor. How do we go about with it? To find the factor, what you are supposed to do with this very particular question is that, one, this is how you can go about with it. Okay, you can use one of the factors to divide it. What the answer that you are going to get will be a quadratic equation, and you will have to factorize it again. Okay, you can also use this one, but it will give you a quadratic equation, then you factorize that one too also again. So what you can do is to multiply these two, which is x plus 1 multiplying x minus 2. This times this, what do you have? X squared times this, you have negative 2x. This times this, that is x. This times that is negative 2. Okay, so you have x squared. When you add them, that will give you negative x negative 2. So what happened then is that we have multiplied these two, all right? And that is what we are going to use to divide this, so that it will give us the third factor. So now let's look at it. Can we do the long division here? Let me see. You have x squared minus x minus 2 dividing x cubed plus 2x squared minus 5x minus 6. So this x squared will come and divide this one, giving you x. The x will multiply what you have over here, giving you x cubed. All right. Then the same x will multiply this, giving you neg x squared. Then this x also multiplying this, give you neg 2x. So what you're going to do is subtract. This will become negative, added to this, and you have what? 0. This will become negative. Sorry, negative is positive. Plus this, so you have 3x squared. All right. Then the negative also affect this one. So you have positive plus this, and that will give you 3x. Okay, so you will now bring this one here. I hope you are following. If you want to understand the division aspect, I've also taught that one. You have to go through our videos under the polynomial functions. Then you see how you go about dividing polynomial functions. I've taught it. We've solved quite a number of examples around it. X squared will come and divide that, giving you plus 3. Okay, so the 3 will multiply this, giving you 3x squared. The 3 will also multiply this, giving you neg 3x. The 3 will also multiplying this, giving you neg 6. Then you subtract. So the negative will affect this one. So that will become 0 when you add them. Then the negative will also affect this one. Okay. Now there is a mistake over here. Let me quickly rectify that. When this one was multiplied, you had what? That is positive. The positive will reduce this one to be negative 3. It's not positive. Negative 3. So that this one multiplies this, you have positive. The positive added to this negative will give you, that is 0. Then the negative will multiply negative, giving you positive 6 plus this negative, and that one is also is 0. So what it means is that when this one divide what you have over here, this is going to be the third factor. So you write, therefore, third factor, all right, is equal to x plus 3, and that is the answer. So in the nutshell, if you want to know the various factors, that would be x plus 1, okay, then you have x minus 2, then you have x plus what? The 3, the third one. Now, if the question had gone on to tell you to find the zeros of the function, that is when you would have equated these ones to be equal. So this one will be x plus 1. You have x equal to negative 1. Then you have x minus 2. X equal to 2. X plus 3. You have x to be equal to negative 3. So the zeros of the function would have become, that is negative 3, neg 1 comma, then we have what? The 2. All right. I know that this is quite lengthy, but kindly take your time, watch it and watch it all over again to get understanding of how to go about questions like this. Thank you very much for watching. Kindly like, share, comment, and repost. See you in our next